Thank you very much, everybody. To win this award once, well, that's a great honour, but twice, it's absolutely magnificent. I'm sure I speak for all of us when I say it's a terrific show to be in it, guys. Great writers, great directors, great producers, absolutely superb. On behalf of all of us at EastEnders, thank you so very much for those who voted for us. God bless you all. Bye.
Well, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for another year. It just remains for me to thank our audience here at the Albert Hall, our award presenters, the nominees, and of course, the winners. But the biggest thanks of the evening goes out to you, the great British viewing public. You are the ones who made this evening possible. So from me and from all my colleagues here at the Royal Albert Hall, good night.
The National Television Awards. Outstanding performance in association with Panasonic.
A new role for John Thor when Harry Barnett's life takes a sudden turn for the worse.
What? I saw something in the house.
Classic suspect in a case like this. Loner, on the fringes of society.
A failure. The penalty for murder in Rhodes is life. At your age, you will die in jail.
Into the Blue, Wednesday the 15th of October on Carlton.
Who would I most like to have a one-to-one with? Tanya on checkout 21. I tell her about my new mobile phone. Up to you. You can buy one just as easily as buying you bananas. I use vouchers for my calls, and you're free because there are no bills or contracts to sign. Oh, if I could have a one-to-one with Tanya, I'd ask her out.
Up to you, the new pay-as-you-go mobile phone service.
Every day I'm investing in my future, the future of my skin.
L'Oreal Plenitude Future E, the new moisturizing fluid with pure vitamin E, known to be a powerful skin protector.
It's the moisturizer for the future. Of course, it's L'Oreal.
Patented microspheres deliver pure vitamin E deeper into the skin to where it is needed most.
My skin looks smoother in one day and seems younger in just 1 week.
New L'Oreal Plenitude Future E, pure vitamin E for the future of your skin.
L'Oreal, because I'm worth it, today and tomorrow.
We've taken all the magic of Walt Disney World Resort in Florida and put it in a film so you can see what it's like to visit Magic Kingdom Park, Epcot, the Disney Studios. Feel what it's like getting wet on Summit Plummet. Hear what happens when you suddenly plunge 13 floors. The film explores our 3 theme parks, 3 water parks, and much more. Call 0990-000-000 for your free 1998 copy and exclusive Unijet holiday offers. It's a world of holidays in one.
Did you kill Mr. Boz, Mr. Ramel?
I didn't kill him.
Starring Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone. A Poisoned Mind.
You're dealing with someone very dangerous and very ill.
Or A Poisoned Pen.
She's coming after me. I'd have to be pretty stupid to write a book about killing and then kill somebody the way I described it in my book.
Basic Instinct, tonight, 10:40 on Carlton.
You're watching Carlton, where now it's time for News at 10.
From ITN News at 10 with Julia Somerville. Lord Archer leads the charge of the Tory rank and file. Au pair trial hears baby's death was no accident. The Queen confesses modern life's too much for her. And the first sight of the brightest star of all. Good evening. The Conservative rank and file today demanded and were promised real power in a reformed party. That was after member at the Blackpool conference had blamed MPs for their defeat in May. They jeered their backbenchers' leader, and they found a champion in the millionaire author Lord Archer. In a barnstorming speech, he said policy and choice of leader shouldn't be left to a handful of MPs who thought they had some sort of superior wisdom. Our political correspondent Michael Brunson reports.
At a stroke, the whole image of Tory conferences has been changed, and so perhaps has the Tory party, with its grassroots members literally storming the platform today at the invitation of the chairman to take the places normally occupied by the great and the good. It was a real humdinger of a debate, with the leader of the ordinary members turning his fire on those who've had so much power until now, the party's MPs.
We, the volunteers, must accept the need for change, but so must the members of Parliament.
And when the MP's leader, Sir Archie Hamilton, appeared to be defending the way the party leader is presently elected by the MPs alone, he was greeted with shouts of why and rubbish.
Members of Parliament will have to maintain the largest share, because any new leader needs to command the support of the majority of the parliamentary party. Conservative members of Parliament decided in 1975 that Margaret Thatcher should lead our party. If that decision had lain with the Conservative grassroots, there is no way that Margaret would have won that leadership election, and the Tory party would have been deprived of one of our greatest prime ministers, and the country would have paid the price.
But Sir Archie was soon pointedly reminded as to who'd got rid of Margaret Thatcher.
Remember, Margaret was thrown out by 2 votes in 1990. Now let us say it. No. Howard, Nicholson, Dykes, Curry, Thurnham, they were the people that put Margaret Thatcher out, not me and not you and not that people outside.
Later, we were to see long queues at the floor microphones, a recent innovation, but used as never before today, as other party members made their points. But before that, that old warhorse of the constituency dinner circuit, Lord Archer, at the conference roaring their approval, as he told Sir Archie Hamilton, the grassroots must help choose the leader.
The Labour Party, Archie, allows their members 30%. I'd go one better. I'd allow our members 50%, and then perhaps we'd be treated as equals.
And he spelt out what drove on the debate, the anger at those who've argued and split the party.
We must stop quarrelling among ourselves. And if there are those who cannot stop quarrelling, I say to them, shove off and join another party. Let us echo the words of Winston Churchill and trust the people.
Lord Archer was given an instant standing ovation. By contrast, the party chairman, Lord Parkinson, at the end of the debate was not given one. And that in itself was another sign of the strength of feeling among the grassroots. And if, for example, they are only offered the proposed minimum of 20% of the share of the votes in electing the leader in future, then I think we can expect trouble. Michael Brunson, News at 10, Blackpool.
Today's formal debate on Europe passed off without trouble for the party leadership, though it bubbled up again later on the conference fringe. Tomorrow, the party will be turning its attention to health and social policy. Our political correspondent Hugh Pym reports.
Time was when Europe would split the Tory conference right down the middle. But now the anti-single currency line taken by Michael Howard commands widespread support.
The policy of our party is that Britain should not give up the pound in the foreseeable future.
And from the floor, some colourful contributions. One speaker arguing that monetary union was about more than just economics.
I enjoyed travelling abroad. I like France, I like Italy, I like Spain. But they're different. They eat horses. We have different moral values.
There is only one answer to the single currency.
As a famous lady once said, no, no, no.
The Yes lobby weren't making so much noise, a handful of pro-Europeans making their case at fringe meetings.
The Euroscepticism of the past will not equip the party to fight the battles of the future.
And tomorrow, enter Michael Portillo for a fringe speech. But despite his strongly Eurosceptic views, there won't be much about Europe. Rather, in a speech said to be vigorously loyal to William Hague, he'll call for a rethink of social policy, urging the Tories to be less judgmental about single-parent families. QPIM News at 10, Blackpool.
An expert prosecution witness in the Louise Woodward murder case in America said today he believed the injuries to the baby she was looking after couldn't have been caused accidentally. The witness, a neurosurgeon, also denied the possibility that the brain damage stemmed from an older injury. Our correspondent James Mates is following the case.
She was brought to court this morning not just in a body chain and cuffs, but in leg irons as well. Louise Woodward needs no reminding. She's charged with the most serious crime under US law. From her father, Gary, reassurance that she's bearing up. She's doing okay. The main witness was the brain surgeon who operated on 9-month-old Matthew Eapen. He talked the jury through scans of the baby's head, rejecting defense theories Matthew could have died from an injury inflicted much earlier.
I believe that would not explain the injuries.
Do you have an opinion whether the cause of Matthew's injuries were accidental or non-accidental?
I think they were non-accidental.
The defense insisted that he'd rushed to judgment.
In your opinion, this was a high-impact injury causing a skull fracture that morning and a subdural hematoma that morning. Was that judgment? Do you have any fear that that was a snap judgment?
I support those judgments continuously to this day.
Why, asked the defense, if there had been a blow to the head, did the scans show so little bruising or swelling on the outside?
It is not dramatic soft tissue swelling, that's true.
It's barely perceptible soft tissue swelling at all, isn't it?
That's true.
Said the prosecution, but isn't this quite normal?
Would it be unusual not to see soft tissue swelling in the right occipital area?
It would not be unusual not to see soft tissue swelling.
The cross-examination has been relentless. The defense don't have to prove their theory that there was an earlier head injury, just convince the jury that there is a reasonable doubt. James Mates, News at 10, Boston.
A former French cabinet minister went on trial today for crimes against humanity more than half a century ago. Maurice Papon is accused of helping send hundreds of Jews to their deaths when he was a police supervisor under the Vichy regime collaborating with the Nazis. He went on to become budget minister from 1978 to 1981. Our foreign news correspondent Paul Davis reports.
The victims of the Nazi death camps were remembered at special services in Bordeaux today. Services timed to coincide with the start of the trial of Maurice Papon. Each of these placards carries the name of a Jewish child deported from Bordeaux during the war and never seen alive again. According to his accusers, Maurice Papon, in the green jacket here, signed away the lives of almost 1,700 Jews. It was only yesterday he turned himself over to the police, claiming that he is being asked to bear the guilt of Hitler's atrocities. Today, armed detectives kept watch as he was smuggled into a back entrance of the Bordeaux courthouse at the start of a trial that will once again force France to look closely at her own war record. In 1941, Papon was police administrator in Bordeaux, a key official in the Vichy regime that collaborated with the Nazis. He says he was only following orders, but the prosecution claimed documents ordering the roundup of Jews carry the signature of Maurice Papon. After the war, Papon prospered, becoming chief of police of Paris, eventually a cabinet minister. To many, those who promoted and protected him are also in this dock. The court's first task is to decide whether at 87, Papon is too frail to be held in prison during the 3 months the trial's expected to last. The judge will give his ruling tomorrow. Paul Davis, News at 10.
The Queen let slip today that at 71 she's beginning to feel her age. In an address to the Pakistan Parliament in Islamabad, she said the world was changing almost too fast for what she called us older ones, and it was time for the younger generation to take the lead. Reporting from Pakistan, here's our royal correspondent Nicholas Owen.
There have been yet more signs of a personal touch in royal messages.
Yesterday there was the tribute to Princess Diana. Today the Queen spoke about the difficulties, at her age, of adapting to the modern world. The Presidential Guard, fierce and grand, escorted the Queen's open carriage this morning to the Islamabad Parliament. Proceedings here always begin with a recitation from the Quran. Then MPs, including the Prime Minister and opposition leader Benazir Bhutto, heard the Queen discuss technology, new trade patterns, and how hard a 71-year-old occasionally finds it to cope.
I sometimes sense that the world is changing almost too fast for its inhabitants, at least for us older ones. It is the younger generation who must lead the way in fostering our friendship.
That younger generation back home presumably means Prince Charles. Next stop, noisy nearby Rawalpindi, where riot police used the local form of crowd control around a cricket ground being visited by the Queen. Inside, all was peaceful for a meeting with the Pakistani and South African test teams. Play resumed, South Africa fighting back against Pakistan's strong start, as the most important spectator saw for herself. Reminders of history tomorrow when the Queen goes to Karachi to lay a wreath at the tomb of Jinnah, who founded this nation when it gained independence from Britain 50 years ago. Nicholas Owen, News at 10 in Pakistan.
Still to come on News at 10, the Stephen Lawrence murder inquiry, the promise to encourage new witnesses. World Cup countdown as the England team arrive in Rome tonight. The Hubble telescope helps uncover the universe's brightest star. And how Fionn Jenkins is coping with her new role in the media spotlight.
There are millions of reasons to fly today. Only one that matters to you. At Delta Airlines, it is our pleasure to get you to the place you want to be. Delta Airlines, on top of the world.
The bank knows that I slip into the red now and again. But the fees they charge. I mean, why don't they give you a buffer zone of, say, £50?
The girls are right. A buffer zone is a bright idea.
It means thousands of Midland customers can now go £50 in the red and not be charged a fee. Their new facility has been described as a buffer zone.
With over 500 different models and over 50 new cars. Every type of car is covered at the London Motor Show. The wraps are off from Wednesday the 15th to Sunday the 26th of October.
Meet Lee Mai and her friends.
Homepride sweet and sour sauce. Cooks great in the oven and takes no time at all to prepare. So simple, even Sassanas could do it right. Just like your favourite Chinese restaurant.
Brilliant! A perfect sweet and sour, or as we say it in Scotland, a number 32.
Homepride cooking sauces. Authentic flavours from all around the world. Also available in Edinburgh.
So how did it all go? I'm afraid the board rejected your big idea. What do you mean? Calm down, John. They didn't like your idea. Better luck next time, mate. Something I said?
Thanks to its torsion beam suspension, the Rover 200 is the perfect car to unwind in.
I've had a better idea.
Another attempt was launched today to establish the truth about the murder of the black London teenager Stephen Lawrence. The former judge who's to head the inquiry promised that anything witnesses told him wouldn't be used against them in criminal proceedings. Kevin Dunn reports.
For 4.5 years, Stephen Lawrence's family has tried to bring his killers to justice and to determine exactly how he came to be fatally stabbed at a South London bus stop. An inquest jury found that 18-year-old Stephen was the victim of an unprovoked racist attack by white youths. 5 men from the area faced a private prosecution for murder, but the case against them collapsed. At the inquest, they refused to give evidence. Opening the inquiry, Sir William Macpherson appealed for witnesses to come forward and said nobody would be prosecuted for what they told him. Stephen's father welcomed that.
I'm pleased to see that they have granted immunity to anybody who want to come forward and give evidence. Maybe now we might get to the end of all of this and know the truth at the end of the day.
The Lawrence family hope that the so-called wall of silence surrounding the case will be broken.
The family feel that now, for the first time perhaps, witnesses who may not have come forward before will come forward.
The chairman of the inquiry said this would not be a trial or a retrial, but he promised a report which would be fair, full and fearless. Public hearings will begin in February, after the Police Complaints Authority have published the results of their inquiry into the murder. Kevin Dunn, News at 10, South London.
Around 40,000 defence jobs were secured today when Germany finally decided to go ahead and buy 180 Eurofighter jets. The fighters are being built with the backing of Britain, Italy, Spain and Germany. The project was delayed while Germany looked for the money to pay for the planes. American space scientists have found what they say is the brightest star in all the universe. It's 10 million times as powerful as our sun. It's called the Pistol Star and it's quite invisible to the naked eye. Our science editor Lawrence McGinty explains why.
This is the first picture of the brightest star in the universe. So bright it throws out as much energy as our sun does in a year in only 6 seconds. The picture was taken by the Hubble Space Telescope. It's actually an image of the heat from the star, 25,000 light years away. The light it emits is blocked by dust in the Milky Way. Astronomers in Britain are amazed that NASA has found such a huge, bright star that no one suspected was there.
It's quite a surprise that this thing was hiding away there. I think they are very rare, these very, very massive stars. So I don't think there will be another one, but I could be wrong.
And it is big. Our sun has a diameter of about 1 million miles, but the Pistol Star is so much bigger, if it were placed at the centre of our solar system, it would stretch beyond Mercury, beyond Venus, beyond Earth, and as far as Mars. Sadly, it's heading for disaster. It's so unstable it will explode in a cataclysmic supernova in a mere 1 million years or so. Lawrence McGinty, News at 10.
It's a year now since the Russian President Boris Yeltsin had his multiple heart bypass operation, and at 66 he's looking almost as strong as ever. He faces yet another challenge to his rule by a hero of the war in Chechnya who calls him a useless old drunk, but is quietly contemplating a third term in the Kremlin. Our Moscow correspondent right through the Yeltsin years has been Julian Mannion. In the first of 2 special reports before he takes up his new post as our Middle East correspondent, he now assesses the president's career so far.
In Boris Yeltsin's Russia, there are plenty of sights to make dead communists spin in their graves, like the British techno-rock group The Prodigy, performing in front of the Kremlin. The audience, 100,000 young Russians of the generation that has turned its back on communism, and riot police who find it hard to give up the old ways. 4 years ago, the clubs were out in earnest, as police battled rioters for control of Moscow. Boris Yeltsin had closed down the hardline parliament, and in a decisive moment he flew to the Kremlin and ordered the White House to be stormed. Today it's foreign investors who are plucking up their courage. There's a growing belief that Boris Yeltsin's rule can bring stability and profit.
I think it is important because he is one of the factors that gives people confidence.
For years, the troubles of Russia have been engraved on Boris Yeltsin's face. No other world leader has lived through such triumphs and such moments of personal weakness. A year ago, he seemed close to death.
Today, he's making yet another comeback. Almost a year after his heart operation, Boris Yeltsin looks alert, even vigorous, and his supporters are now daring to hope that the surgeon's promise of another 10 years of active life may be fulfilled. For Yeltsin is now the anchor on which a whole political class depends for its power, wealth, and security. And some voices can even be heard suggesting that the president should not now retire when his term ends in the year 2000. Under the constitution he himself introduced, Yeltsin would appear to be limited to 2 terms. But his team are talking about a possible third, and in response to my question, the president was vague.
My friends and my colleagues have told me not to talk about this issue.
What? In private, Yeltsin sometimes refers to himself as Tsar Boris, a joke about kingship which is still at odds with his role as Russia's first elected president, who must one day step down.
I think Yeltsin thinks of himself as being a sort of a czar. And that means that there are more chances for him to stay in his office after the next election.
But Yeltsin is still haunted by past mistakes, like his army's defeat in Chechnya. General Lev Rokhlin was Russia's hero in that war. Now he has launched a political movement dedicated to removing Yeltsin from power by next spring.
I don't believe his power is solid. I know the army doesn't support him. He's plundered and humiliated it. And I think the police and security services feel the same way.
But Boris Yeltsin is perhaps the ultimate survivor. And as he welcomed his young colleague from Britain this week, it seemed quite possible that this new relationship, bridging a 22-year age gap, will be a lasting one. Julian Mannion, News at 10, Moscow.
And tomorrow night, Julian Mannion will be reporting on the winners and losers under President Yeltsin, his impact on ordinary Russians. The England football squad arrived in Italy tonight for their big World Cup qualifying match on Saturday. There'd been reports that Paul Gascoigne could get a writ slapped on him for an old assault on an Italian paparazzi photographer, but he didn't. Our sports correspondent Graham Miller travelled with the team.
The England squad arrived at Rome's military airport without incident. The legal threat to Paul Gascoigne following a clash with a photographer in Italy 3 years ago failed to happen, even though his appearance caused quite a stir among reporters. Security is tight at the squad's training camp on the outskirts of Rome. England are here early to acclimatise for Saturday's big game. If they avoid defeat, they're guaranteed a place in the World Cup finals.
We're taking this game as if it's just one of the other games, because it is really. You know, it's just, I know all the hype and leading up to the game is different, but it's just like the games against Moldova and Georgia.
After the team were ushered through the military airport, they were taken to their training camp on the southern side of the city, about half an hour's drive away. There, Glenn Hoddle has given the squad the night off to relax, but he says they'll be training again first thing in the morning. Graham Miller, News at 10, Rome.
And the Scotland squad were training today for their World Cup qualifier against Latvia. Our Scotland correspondent Linda Kennedy reports from Hampden Park.
The squad began training in earnest today for the match against Latvia. A win will almost certainly send them to France. But for this crunch game, the fitness of some key players is still a concern. Although striker Ali McCoist now looks able to play, and like the rest of the team, he's confident.
I'm not going to stick my neck out for a dick, but a Scotland victory by 1 goal would do me.
The only way we've got results through the years is by everybody playing as well as we can, and it's going to have to be the same on Saturday.
And the team's spirit has been boosted by the knowledge they beat Latvia by 2 goals last time round. Scotland's World Cup campaign has been dogged by controversy, but this time there are no major distractions and the mood in the camp is buoyant. The football, they say, is flourishing. Linda Kennedy, News at 10, Hampden Park, Glasgow.
In tennis, Tim Henman and Greg Rosetsky are both through to the second round of the CA Trophy in Vienna. Rosetsky, who's now the world number 4, used his powerful serve to devastating effect to beat the Ukrainian Andrei Medvedev in straight sets. The numbers draw in the National Lottery tonight were 3, 4, 7, 23, 34 and 43. and the bonus number was 15. Camelot say there were 8 jackpot winners, each receiving £625,000. The headlines again. The Conservative rank and file were promised power in a reformed party today after the conference heard speakers blame MPs for their defeat in May. In a barnstorming speech, Lord Archer said policy and the choice of leader shouldn't be left to a handful of MPs who thought they had some sort of superior wisdom. And finally, still with the Conservative Party conference in Blackpool, the woman the photographers have been chasing this week. Fionn Jenkins, of course, William Hague's fiancée. Harry Smith reports.
Now here I am, sandwiched between my two favourite ladies.
Welcoming Lady Thatcher tonight, there was no doubting the debt the new leader owes to her, but it's the woman on his right who's increasingly being seen as a major player in his political future. Appearing for the cameras in a £2,000 lace dress, the details carefully leaked in advance, she's clearly seen as a great public relations asset. Her public outings, though, are strictly limited. This visit to a children's tea party today, her only solo public appearance of the week. At one stage, it seemed every camera in Blackpool was there too. Fionn has her own party-appointed press officer, but reporters had already been warned she won't answer questions.
Very few wives or of opposition leaders or prime ministers ever have spoken much in public. That's the convention. But there's a great danger that if she pushes herself forward too much just to be photographed, she won't be able to send the cameras again when she really perhaps will want more privacy in future.
The next big date on the calendar for Fionn and the press, her wedding day, December the 19th. Harry Smith, News at 10, Blackpool.
And that's News at 10 from all of us here. Good night.
Hello, good evening. Heavy rain in places today, more wind and rain to come for many tonight too. An unsettled story, and that's certainly the impression you get from the satellite pictures. Today we had one dark area of cloud sweeping in from the southwest, taking heavy rain for a while up to the north and east there. Further north across Scotland and Northern Ireland, just a few showers today, but down to the southwest already 2 areas of cloud joining to form the next low pressure area, the next lot of wet and windy weather that's coming along through tonight and tomorrow morning. By tomorrow morning, the low pressure is sitting across northern England, strong winds around it, especially in the south, with gusts up to around 40 or even 50 miles per hour, so do take care on the roads. So coming back to tonight then, that thicker cloud, outbreaks of rain across the north, in fact the south too for a while, but then a change to more showery conditions overnight. Temperatures at lowest across parts of Scotland where you're sheltered down to around 6. Tomorrow morning, still grey and wet in parts of the northeast, but as the low pressure moves away, so the general rain will go with it. And then for the rest of the day, we'll have a mixture of sunny spells and showers, most of the showers in the west. But breezy across the south, temperatures 18 at best. Good night.
Power gen, generating electricity whatever the weather.